While out there hiking and backpacking, our feet, knees, and back take a huge beating. Now, a good way to redistribute the weight is to use trekking poles. Trekking poles can help include our upper body in almost all of the activity. The problem is that trekking poles are usually expensive. Are you looking for a good budget alternative for your trekking poles? Well, in this video, we are going over the Cascade Mountain Tech aluminum trekking poles, and we're going to step into it right now. Hey, Escape here. Here at Escape in the office, I bring you along on my adventures and we go over gear, tips, and tricks, all things to make your next escape from your office more enjoyable. If you are new here and you enjoy what you see, please do hit that subscribe button. Let's go. As I mentioned, trekking poles are a great way to help redistribute weight throughout the body, but you do want to find one that works well for you. So let's go over a few of the different things that help out. So the first thing we're going to go over is the grips. Now these ones come with a cork grip. Now, there are available with foam grips, but I would not recommend using those because cork is actually seen as better and it is very comfortable. One of the great things about using a cork grip is that it actually helps wick the sweat away from your hands, so that way your palms don't feel super sweaty, you know, no mom's spaghetti. But it also helps with after just long distances, you're not really getting any calluses or anything like that. I never felt a blister using these poles. So another great thing about these grips is that they come with this strap. Now pay attention when you get these straps on where the felt is. They actually seem to be a little bit more aligned to either left versus right. If I were to put this one here, it would actually put most of the weight here on my left hand, which is perfect because that's where most of the weight ends up. If I were to put it on my right hand, most of the felt would end up in my palm and it would end up just not feeling as comfortable when resting on my thumb, and I might actually get a little bit of chafing or rubbing, and that would just not be good. So do pay attention when you start using them and make sure the felt's on the right side. But it is extremely comfortable. It's way more comfortable than these. My old poles only had this webbing style strap, and I did get quite a few marks that just noticed that the strap was there. Moving to the other end of the pole, we have the tips. And the great thing is that they're tungsten carbide, which means they can be pretty beat up. They're very strong. One great thing is about the end of these is that you can add and remove the baskets, which they did come with quite a few attachments, which we'll go over here in a second. But the problem here is that you can't just straight up replace the tips like you can with the more expensive brands. You actually just have to replace the entire lower section, which according to Cascade Mountain Tech's website, it's only $7 for the bottom part. So really not that expensive if you have to replace it. So it's just one thing to keep in mind. If you do wear out your tip eventually, which most people do, the replacement cost isn't very high. All right, for the poles themselves, like I said, they are aluminum, and aluminum is actually quite strong. Now, people sometimes will go with carbon options because it is lighter, but I've actually seen quite a few reviews where carbon ends up breaking. These don't break as much. However, there is one problem that it's not really a problem if you can kind of get used to it, and it makes kind of like a twang sound that sounds like a door stopper when you're walking and hitting them down at a certain angle, but it isn't really a big problem. One of the great things is that they have these markings on them, 110 on up and 40 and on up. I don't know what the difference is because they're actually both inches. So you can just pick one side, pick a number, and roll with that. They're both inches. That's not imperial and metric on either side. It's the same thing, just different numbers. So in using these poles, one of my favorite things about them is the locking mechanism. So it is a flip lock, which is amazing, but the best part is that this thumb screw is here, and this thumb screw can help you tighten up your poles if you need to. Now, the great thing about that is you don't need any tools. If it seems like it's getting a little bit loose, you just take it, tighten it down, put it back. When I was out in Michigan, I was using the Walmart brand, and those required a screwdriver, and luckily one of the guys I was hiking with had a screwdriver in his car, but it's much more advantageous to have trekking poles that don't need tools out on the trail. One of the other good things about these is how these nest together. So there's this little bumper here that when you push in your pole, it helps out with it collapsing and making sure that the locks don't overlap. Pulling out my old Walmart one, if I unlock this and then just pushed in, I actually can't lock it. because of how nested it is. So having that little bumper is super advantageous. It's just a little bit cleaner and better design. So with these trekking poles, they do come with accessories, and you'll see the typical shipping rubber that covers the tip, which is great. There's another great one, which is like the little boot that you can use when you're road walking or up on a rocky summit to help protect the tips a little bit. There are the regular sand and mud baskets that typically come with most trekking poles, and these ones also come with snow baskets if you're anywhere snowy, which is fantastic. And if you don't want to attach it to your pack, but you do want to keep it safe while you're traveling to and from the trail, it comes with a great carrying case, which is fantastic in and of itself. However, most people probably won't use it. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if you would plan on using that case to and from the trail. All right, so the big thing you're probably going to want to know is exactly how much they cost. And at the time of recording in October 2020, they are $25 on the Cascade Mountain Tech website, but hilariously enough, they are $23 on Amazon's website, which I do have linked down in the description below. Either way, these are great poles. I've used them on a few short day hikes, I've used them on the NCT, and I'm using them on a few planned upcoming trips. They are great poles for a budget option, and as long as you take care of them, if you're willing to pay that $7 to swap out the tips, they will last you a long time. If you found this video helpful, please do like, comment, subscribe, and then hit that little notification bell so that way YouTube does tell you when I upload the next video. I want to thank you for watching. Escape the office and get outside.